Welcome to my first attempt at doing a painting tutorial. My name is Butter Eggs, and welcome. So today we're going to be working on a Space Marine intercessor, I think. I don't know. I'm more of a AOS guy. Um, but I'm trying out a green paint scheme for this fellow. Have him sub-assembled so I can get to his head detail and the backpack detail. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be interesting take. Um, so we're gonna hit it with some Stynal Res black primer. It's probably one of the best ones that I've come across. I've had problems with Vallejo, but Stynal Res seems to be the primer for me. So right now I'm just gonna be, laying down a smooth coat for the following paint to grab onto. We're going to go ahead and let that dry for about 10-15 minutes so it has a good chance to adhere to the model. Right here I was experiencing some dry tip. So what I normally do is just take off the nozzle protector, take a makeup sponge, and just pull off that excess dried paint. Um, I've done it before with cotton balls, and I've bent plenty of needles with that. So it's a little trick that I saw Ninjon use in one of his videos. So with almost every model that I do a zenithal highlight. So I do a black base coat with the primer, and then come over the top with either Stynylrez white, or in this case I'm using FW white ink, and I thin it down with a Tamiya X20 acrylic thinner. It's one of the thinners that I like to use. It's done me good. So here we go, laying down smooth coat. You don't want to, you know, let it rip like a Beyblade. You'll get some nasty spotting. You'll get it potentially spidering. That's when it kind of splashes across the mini, and it doesn't look that good. So on this step, I'd advise just take your time, work it in, keep it at least a 45-degree angle, and turns out pretty well. And it also helps you block out where your shadows are gonna lie. Plus, if you're working with super thin down paints, the undercoat of the white and the black will kind of do a lot of the work for you in the subsequent steps. So I'm just sitting there working it, making sure it doesn't look gaudy. But yeah, looking good so far. So I was a knob and I didn't hit the record button, uh, but I laid down um, some Caliban green from Games Workshop. It's a nice deep green, almost like a forest green. So I'm paying more attention on where I had the white, and so wherever the white was, I was dropping my green. I tried to stay out of the shadows as much as possible, because later on in the video we're going to be dropping ink in those shadows. So now I'm transitioning into the ink work. Right here, I'm using Amsterdam's burnt sienna. Um, so pretty much wherever the black primer was still showing, I was dropping in those shadows. Kind of working slow, making sure that I have as minimal overspray as possible. Um, Overspray in this point isn't a bad thing, but it can go a little overboard if you're not paying attention. So, feathering it, constant air, letting the paint dry, keep keep the nozzle moving. Don't stay in one spot for too long. Um, Man, I need to work better on on my camera work. But hey, I was like, brand new camera, want to get into the YouTube scene. Hot takes left and right, that's for sure. But I'm liking how this marine is starting to turn out. Um, Looking back at it, I might have worked a little too much on the around the kneecap and down by the feet. Um, but at the end of it, I think it looks good. I was happy with it. So with the burnt sienna coming down to a close, I went ahead and I swapped out the sienna with burnt umber. I wanted to see how the two inks were different when it came to being applied to a green base coat. So what I did was I just cleaned out my brush, started doing the exact same thing that I did with the burnt sienna, dropping it in the shadows, slowly working it in, building up the layers, making sure nothing's spider webs or splashes across, trying to keep my overspray down to a minimum. And then when I was done with that, I went over kind of like a zenithal highlight, but with moot green. And once again, I was a knob, and I didn't record it. Uh, so doing this video, I learned a lot of stuff. Um, Plan on more videos in the future. It's definitely a learning curve, not only with figuring out YouTube and how to edit and shoot videos, but also paint. So with that, thank you for watching, and look out for the next one.